everybody. Welcome back to Reality Check Podcast, where tea is served and checks are dispersed, honey. My name is Diana.
And my name is Mare. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Well, this episode today is all about Love is Blind. I hope you all have caught up. If not, you may want to come back to this episode once you have caught up on all the episodes, because this may be a spoiler for you. But we're talking all things Love is Blind. Mare.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I have to recollect my thoughts.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know where to start.
All right, let's just
honest.
Let's provide some context with where we are. So this is Love is Blind season 4 that's out there. Netflix is obviously releasing its these episodes in small intervals. So we have the first 5 episodes that came out last week. This week, which is when we're filming this on Saturday, so literally just last night or yesterday is when Netflix released 3 more episodes. So in the first 8 episodes, we were able to get our 5 couples, behavior, positive and negative behaviors from from individuals within these couples. We've actually had a couple already break up and a new couple form. It's been a hot mess this season. So let's go ahead and dive in deep couple by couple. Who should we start with?
Oh, I'm just like freaking out inside. I don't know where it's coming from. Like, I'm just like,
it's been that much of a mess.
Oh,
it's been that much of a mess.
Okay. All right. The first couple that I did write down is Kwame and Chelsea, but I feel like that conversation is probably deserved.
Let's start with them.
You think? Okay.
Let's start. Let's go ahead and dive in. All right. So, oh gosh, what do we think? What are our thoughts on Kwame and Chelsea?
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay. Ooh.
It's okay. It is that anxiety provoking. Honestly,
It really is. There are certain. What do you want to say? What did you?
So
say?
let's.
I saw your mouth moving.
No, it's fine. What I was going to say was let's provide some context for the two of them, right? So, Kwame is Ghanaian, lives in Portland, Oregon, and he's in tech. I think, right? Or he's a data scientist or something
Whatever
like that.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Chelsea, she is a speech pathologist. She lives in Seattle, Washington, right? Wonderful. We don't know where Chelsea's from. She hasn't shared any of that information.
She hasn't shared that.
Kwame, we have some feelings about this season because of our PTSD from Mr. SK last season. I'm going to call it PTSD because SK ruined my life last season.
No. No.
He ruined my life last season.
SK came playing.
I defended SK to the streets.
I remember watching.
He finished me in the streets.
And all of his Yoruba brothers and sisters. Every single one of them.
Yeah. Okay,
my
anyway,
goodness.
so Kwame, people have been giving him a good old side eye because of that, and also because of his involvement with another cast member, Micah. So Micah and Kwame himself was interested and had a connection with Micah and also with Chelsea. He ended up getting his heart broken, and I'm using air quotes, his heart broken by Micah because Micah had chosen Paul, which we will get into that situation later.
Absolutely.
All right. So because of that, he ended up going ahead to move forward with his connection with Chelsea and full on propose to Chelsea. Now, in the first 5 episodes, what we got was Chelsea is 1000% in this relationship. She is 1000% into this man. And Kwame is semi into Chelsea and semi into Micah. He really wants closure with Micah. And he continues to go to Micah for whatever that closure is, or because he has this undeniable connection, quote unquote, with Micah. So much so that in the first few episodes, we saw Kwame and Micah in very close proximity to each other while they were having their closure conversation. They're holding hands in the pool, mind you. In the pool, they're holding hands while Chelsea and Paul are not too far away from these two, and they're having this very long closure conversation. Still, we fast forward to now we are at Chelsea's birthday, where the entire cast, even those that did not make it to the couple setting, we have the entire cast now at Chelsea's birthday party, excuse me, and Micah and Kwame still somehow find their way back to each other.
Yes, they do.
And Kwame sums that up to being because he just will always have a place in his heart for Micah. So therefore, he is drawn to Micah. Mind you, he's 100% sure he wants to marry and
Chelsea.
be with Chelsea. So what are your thoughts, man?
Whew, that was a lot. What a good, first of all, she did that off the cuff, so that was great.
Honestly, not completely. We didn't even take any notes for this. I'm like nothing. This is just right off the dome. All right.
Yay. My thoughts are so much it could be a chapter in a book, especially concerning Kwame.
Girl.
Kwame is it Apia? Is his last name?
I don't know. I haven't even looked up what his name is.
As my Ghanaian brothers and sisters would say, they would say Waniewu. Like absolutely.
Ooh,
like
Waniewu.
Yes, he is like, I'm just so like so disappointed in him. Like shame on him in many ways. Because like this man unfortunately comes to this show knowing that like he prefers a white woman.
Yeah.
He comes onto the show and he knows that he is here for white acceptance. He comes onto this show knowing that he has not yet dealt with the traumatic, I hate calling everything traumatic, but the issues that concern his own personal identity. You understand?
I don't think he sees them as issues, to be very honest with you.
And let's say like he possibly doesn't see them as an issue, but the way in which he even presented it to us, you know, we immediately peeped it. Mm-hmm. Like the first words, I wasn't able to take my girl to the prom because I was black. And, you know, here on this show, you don't get to see the other person and all of that stuff. It's like, I'm like, I was like, okay. There could have been a different way, a different direction that could have gone. But oh my, he took us right in the direction of which we knew that it was really leaning itself towards an unfortunate self-hatred almost, right? Like,
some self-loathing.
What is it? Self-loathing and everything. And then also like to compound upon that, you see him explaining how he has to always gain the acceptance of whomever it is that he is around. Oh, I have this degree. Oh, I do this and all of that stuff. It's like, when will you stop, you know, doing these things to like gain acceptance from other people? And and my question is also, who are those other people that you are trying to gain this level of acceptance from? And then you flip it on its head. Then you have Chelsea, someone who's very, very comfortable in her skin. She is definitely invited to the cookout because there is something about Chelsea that is very down to earth, right? That doesn't represent, unfortunately, like the stereotypical valley nature of, you know, white women that we see on television, which is also like not a great stereotype. But she really is, she's educated, she's smart, she has a great heart, she understands, she's able to empathize. You know, there's something about her that makes her accepted by all people of all different, you know, backgrounds. Yeah. And she is just an absolutely wonderful person. And she is a person that you can see her being friends, not just with white people. You see her being friends with black people. You see her being friends with, you know, Asian people, all types of people. And so here she is matched up with this man who doesn't have the wherewithal to understand that, like, hey, I actually probably hate myself and I really actually don't know it. I'm trying to see myself through the lens of the majority, right? Through the lens of white folk, and not necessarily seeing myself through the lens of how my parents see me or how I see myself or even how God sees me, right? There is an inner working that he needs to do in order for him to be a whole person, to even be in a relationship that is going to be successful with Chelsea.
Speak on it. So I agree with everything that you have shared. And I even want to point out that this issue, like every season, every couple will have their like issue that they have to work towards before getting to the altar. And the issue that he has brought up is that he is compromising too much, which I was I was looking at that story and seeing that, and I'm like, okay, that honestly, that's a very valid point. Like in relationships, do you have one person that compromises much more than the other person, right? Like that's a very valid question. But I was wondering, is your compromise your way of trying to feel accepted by the other? You know what I mean? Like he's constantly doing things, and so much so that he
yes.
He's always finding himself in a position where he constantly has to compromise, and that could be his method to acceptance of whoever he is with, right? Because as he has said in the past and he's shared, is that he doesn't always get accepted because of the color of his skin, right? The families that he's with the people that he's dating or whatever, that they have they've loved him up until they have seen exactly what he looks like, that he's actually a black man and blah, 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 blah. So it makes sense that he has done the accommodating and modification within himself to ensure that he is accepted by the family of whoever he is trying to desire or be with or whatever the case is. And that's where the compromise comes in, I think. And I think that the reason why he is now being able to, he's in a position where he's trying to bring it up as an issue, because I don't actually think that he actually likes Chelsea.
I agree.
Think because he is trying to find ways to
come out of it,
to get out of that situation and be with Micah, who he actually really wants to be with. So yeah, Kwame, brother, you have disappointed us. And one thing I also noticed, that he is the most comfortable. Oh my gosh, there was a scene where Chelsea and Kwame, Micah and Paul, they were talking at that party, the Chelsea's birthday party. I don't even know what they were talking about. They were just in a group, like standing and talking. Everybody's doing that. Kwame seemed to be the most comfortable in that moment.
Right. Like there was a relaxation to his body.
There was a relaxation in his body language and his voice and the way that he's communicating. Versus in the first 5 episodes, there was a scene where Marshall, Brett, and Kwame were having a conversation talking about their emotions. And Marshall specifically said, you know, us as Black men, we don't get to have this conversation enough about our emotions. And I just love the fact that we're doing this. Brett was like, yeah, brother.
And Kwame was like,
he looked at the camera like, who's us?
He was so out of place. He was out of place.
He actually looked at the camera like, who's us?
Yep.
And I'm like, he is so uncomfortable in this moment.
Very much.
He is so uncomfortable. That's a working that he has to deal with. I pray for you. Moving on. Chelsea, anything to say about her?
I just want to say to my sis Chelsea, you deserve much better than Kwame. Girl. And also, Chelsea, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever dated Black men? Because I feel like you have been dating Black men a lot.
Chelsea, we have to ask you this.
We have to ask that question.
You need to answer us.
Because I also want her to not be so mesmerized by the physicality of whatever that person has to bring. Chelsea, she is mesmerized by whatever is happening in the bedroom. Okay?
No.
I don't understand.
No. I disagree. Can I tell you why?
You don't think so?
Let me tell you why. Because one thing that actually struck out to me is that Chelsea from the pods was already turned on. So there's something about Chelsea where she actually gets physically turned on by someone's connection. I don't know if it's their mind, their intellect, or the way in which they're connecting with her. There's something about connection. She didn't know what Kwame even looked like. You know what I'm saying?
But she knows that he's not
Black.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She knows that.
Yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah. You know? But like there was something about the connection still that turned her on physically. So she was already turned on from the pods themselves.
Did you feel that connection? That they had? Did you feel in the pods that they really had this really great physical connection? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't
You
know
know,
about
like,
physical.
you know,
I don't know about physical. I just think maybe her libido is just a lot
maybe a
higher
little
than
higher.
average.
Yeah.
I think that's
No,
what
because like
excuse my vulgar and
I
but
know.
I think that's what it is.
Because I know that the viewers probably can sense the chemistry and the physical connection between one of the couples. We know, right? But with Chelsea and Kwame, I saw nothing. And I just was like, what is happening? But for her, if it worked for her, it worked for her. But I need her to like cut it out with, you know, the bedroom stuff. The way that she was like, oh, it blew my mind more than.
It's not that serious, girl. It is not that serious.
I was like, oh,
relax.
Poor girl. I was like, wow.
She said it blew my mind. Stop.
I was like,
I need you to stop with the dramatics.
Oh, she's so funny.
Yeah. But I also really did like seeing that sensitive side of her and the vulnerable side. Excuse me. When she was talking about like the reason why she decorated her house in the way that she did.
I know that
and
was
it's just
so
like
nice.
that's so interesting that we never think about like the small things around our space, like the way in which what we have gone through comes through in so many different ways. You know what I mean? Like she has pink all over her apartment, and that's because she has just always been in a controlling environment. There's one more thing I want to say about Chelsea.
Yeah.
Her nerves with meeting her dad, and not meeting her dad, with Kwame meeting her dad.
Yes.
Do you know what I was telling myself?
What were you telling yourself?
She knows he's racist. She must know, allegedly.
Diana.
No, I'm so serious. Those nerves were way too intense. They were way too intense. I think that she was like, he is probably, remember, just think of their geographical location.
I know, yeah, definitely.
Well,
like, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? That has to come into
play
here.
into her mind. But what did you think about his reaction after?
I was shocked and I was a little suspicious, but that could just be my...
I love it. Diana's suspicion.
Always my cautious optimism. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm always cautious in that way. So I don't know if that's my drawback, but I was still shocked and it was like, okay, happy. But at the same time, I was like, Mister, I really hope that you have your discernment on with this man and you can discern that he is just not for your daughter.
No, he's really not at all. It's just the part that really is very interesting for me is how quickly they call each other babe, baby, I love you, and saying all those things. I'm like, it's only been 2 weeks.
I'm honestly, I'm not.
Like,
sometimes I think I'm emotionless.
I know, but like, no, I think it's because we actually have parameters as to when we start to express those things and when it's normal, because it's not always about heart. It's also about logic. Yeah. Like in my brain, you know, when is this? I
don't know you. You're a stranger.
Right. You're still a stranger. There's so many things. And then you have Kwame's mom not really like, you know, wanting to be part of this. I wish we heard what she said. Yeah. But anyway, that's it on them. We're good.
Sorry. And another reason why I believe that she was nervous about the dad potentially being, you know,
a racist,
who he was allegedly, because we on a public platform now, we gotta say allegedly. Because she kept saying that he has never liked any guy before. And if we are alleging that Chelsea has dated black men, well, who knows if that's the reason why, but that's all speculation. Anyway,
it is.
Moving on to who we got?
You pick.
Ay.
Oh, Love is Blind is so messy.
Okay, can we do Zach and Bliss?
God have mercy.
I just want to say
I'm like shaking. I'm so sorry. Like I'm shaking. Like
I just want to say that I definitely obviously felt for Zach with what he was going through with Marina, because she is just a god awful. Jesus.
Her name is Irina, but Diana does not know what is happening. Every single time she's like, Marina. Where did the Marina come from?
I don't know why I can't get this baby's name right. I don't know why. I really don't know. I promise you, I try too. And I'm like, what is this child's name? Her name is Irina. Is it Irina or Irina?
Irina. That's how she pronounces it. So
Heavenly
that's how
Father,
we will
Lord,
pronounce it.
All right. Irina. Though obviously because of that situation, like I felt for Zach, but I think we got to see a lot more of Zach's personality, and he's a very odd human being.
He might be a little neurodivergent.
You think so?
Yes,
I got the feeling, but I'm like, no. He could be, right?
Yeah, he could be, yeah.
What do they call it now? Diffability.
Oh, really? That's a word now?
That's a song. I think my sister was telling me that, and I'm like, oh, okay.
All right,
Anyways,
go ahead.
Man, no, now you're making me feel bad for what I was about to say. Now I feel bad. But he's awkward. He is very awkward.
He's awkward.
He is very, very awkward. And it's like Bliss is very not awkward. She's very aware. She has a lot of situational awareness, you know what I mean? And she is very in tune with what's happening around her. And she just accepts. And I'm like, is she being like nice? But I don't know. It's just weird the way that I think she was speaking with Micah, and Micah was telling her this
about the Irina liking
exactly, and that whole situation, which again we will get into. And Bliss was basically like, "Yeah, girl, I peep game. Like I peep game a long time ago, but you know, you want to be her friend, so we let you do what you want to do, whatever." And in the middle of their conversation, there was no warning or anything. Here comes Zach just landing a nasty, sloppy kiss onto Bliss, and I'm like,
Micah's face was perfect, and she's just
oh my gosh, Mare,
like, like it was so. Mare, he was trying to claim his woman, I guess,
but it was so unnecessary in the moment, and it was for a long time
and unnatural,
very unnatural.
It was not a natural flow at all.
It was so random. It's like us having a conversation and then someone just coming to land up something. And then for what's her name? Micah to be like, what's your salmon breath or something like that.
That was great. Micah had a likable moment in that.
That was your salmon. She's like, what's your salmon breath?
And he's like,
this is embarrassing.
Bliss likes my salmon.
He's like, Bliss likes my salmon. I'm like,
it's like when he was with Irina in bed and he was like, I was just like, Zach, no! I'm like, don't do it! Like, it's not gonna be well received, Zach. Stop.
Oh my goodness. It's so funny because the moments that he tried to kiss Irina, she would like jump, be like, oh, gotta go. Gotta blast. Gotta go. She was like, oh, she would get like scared, like, oh, please don't.
She's so rude.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to like.
So rude. Oh my God.
Oh my.
The way, even when they first met, he was like, "Can I kiss you?" She's like, "I don't think so." She's
like, maybe. I was like, maybe just a hug. For now.
My God. Like it's. Like, I don't even know what to say. He needs some lessons in knowing how to like, talk to a woman and, read her body language and understand like when, okay, this is like the moment that you can go, or this is when you do not go, things like that. I just think that he just needs a little bit of like lessons in that. But poor guy, he's genuinely being himself, and which we can appreciate. Yes. But for the audience though, like Bliss is his second choice. Okay. So in the pods, we have Zach who was choosing between Irina and Bliss. Bliss in the pods remembered his birthday, made him cupcakes, did all these things to show that like she cares about him. They had very deep conversations. Yeah. And then Zach is over here with Irina. He's like, oh, but I loved her. I was like, how do you love somebody in a matter of 7 days? I just don't understand. For me, cognitively, please explain to us, everybody, how you can really truly fall in love with somebody and say, I loved you.
But that's what I said last episode. I was like, yeah, I don't understand and cannot resonate with the accelerated process.
No, the thing is, the question of can you fall in love with somebody without seeing them? I believe you can. The question thereafter is, no, you can. Without
one eye
seeing
open,
them?
One eye closed. Maybe partial. I couldn't do partial blindness. I told you guys. Partially, one eye. Be like, what do you look like? Is your nose over here, or is it?
Like, I mean, yes, for some people, yes. Like Diana keeps one eye open, right? But you can. And the thing is, like Zach saying that he loved Irina. When you compare Irina's conversations in the pods with Zach to Bliss's conversations in the pods, I guess you can really see that Bliss was really more into Zach than Irina was ever into Zach. I don't think Irina was into Zach in the pods. I don't think she was into Zach when she saw him, nothing of that nature. But he fell more in line with her, even after he identified the fact that she plays games. And Bliss had told him, like, well, if you choose her, it shows a lot about your character. Irina literally is everything Bliss said that she was. Now Zach backtracks and goes back to Bliss. And all I was praying and hoping for, D, was that Bliss said no.
Yeah.
That is what I was hoping for.
Same.
Woo! And
but
she
her heart,
said yes.
Yeah, but her heart was still there.
Oh.
She was still, because she said it, she's like, I went home and cried for weeks. You know what I mean? So it's like, her heart was still there.
I mean, the heart is such a, what is the scripture
desperately
say about
wicked.
The heart? Oh,
desperately
wicked. And I'm telling you.
And deceitful.
Absolutely.
That's why you got to have your mind right. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Because it truly is deceitful. And I really wish that she didn't lean into that emotion. I wish she would have been like up here and said, listen, you didn't listen to me the first time.
Yeah.
You showed me who you are. You showed me what you wanted. Now you're thinking about me. I am the second thought. I should have been your first thought.
Like, so I don't understand. Like, she's going to walk away her whole life thinking like I was your second choice.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I don't know. But either way, let's just see how it goes with them two. She did accept he proposed to her.
Oh.
And she accepted the proposal. They are now engaged. Mare and I can't remember. Actually, no, we're not going to do spoilers. Let's just wait.
No, we're not doing that. We're going to wait. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. So we're done with Bliss and Zach. Oh, Lord. Who's next? You pick.
Oh, my gosh.
So next we have Jackie and Marshall, Micah and Paul, Tiff and Brett.
I guess let's like sprinkle in some love in there. Or do we, because like, I don't know if we want to save Tiff and Brett for the end, but I think we should just sprinkle in some happy joy.
Let's do it.
A little bit.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let me just whoosah for just a second because I love me some Tiffany and Brett. I'm sorry, child. Fireworks are just going off every day.
Brett,
he is a fine man.
He is.
My God,
gorgeous. And then you know what made him even more gorgeous? Seeing his house. What?
Yes,
and I'm like,
so clean.
You know, clean,
so efficient,
and techie, and. And you know what I mean? Like he's like and stylish.
He likes the finer things.
But here's the thing, because I like Tiffany. Her worry about his spending. I was like, girl, he is a shoe designer at Nike.
I know exactly. He's making money that you wish you like.
I don't think you have to worry about his spending.
No, don't.
And I hats off to you that you're not going to spend it. That's what you're saying too. Hats off to you. Couldn't be me. I'll spend all that coin. Couldn't be me. I'm just saying. Couldn't be me. I'm not as humble as you are, but hey, listen, I under construction. I do like them. I love his swag, his stature, his confidence, his nature. I really do enjoy seeing that. I enjoy seeing the maturity, the mature development of their relationship. You know what I mean? I also like Tiffany because she is very sweet in nature. There's something about her. I don't know, I look at her and I think of a deer. You know what I mean? It's almost like she's
so doughy.
She's like on clouds and so doughy and just so she's like,
she just wants everybody to get along. You know, she wants beauty and enjoy.
That's it.
And even seeing how her friends described her.
Yeah, they really, really do.
Yeah, they did
love her. That lunch though that we're talking about. So friends that are listening. So Tiffany, in these 3 episodes, we did get some introduction to family members and friends and things like that from some of the couples. So Tiffany introduced Brett to some of her good girlfriends. She had 4 friends that were there that she introduced Brett to. I did not, there's something unnatural just a little bit to me about that lunch with Brett. Like, I just thought it was really weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, again, I'm just not as emotional.
Tell me more. You mean like
you know what? I think what it is just I'm not a huge public display of affection type of person. I think that's what it is. So for me, things like that are like cringy, like to be like, oh, I love you in front of like all these people and then proceed to like give me a kiss like nobody is there. I'm just like, for me, I'd be like, no, go away. I can't do it. Like those types of things, I'm just not like, I find it icky.
Please. Okay. No. Everybody, I need everybody to not use that word anymore.
Why?
Icky.
Why?
The icky.
Oh, because the trend?
I was like, what
because
is
of the
this
trend?
word?
Girl, stop.
Yeah,
I've been using that word since I was a child. Stop it. I've been using that word since I was a child. Just because Gen Z just decided right now to make into a trend doesn't mean that I can't use it. No, not it. Just like, it makes me like, nyah. Like,
when you can't find the word, the sound.
But anyways, no, but there's nothing, let me just say that there's nothing wrong with it. There was just something that didn't seem like as like flowy into like I think they were just talking about like Tiff is a great person. He's like, yeah, Tiffany, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you and love you so much.
And I really love you.
Yeah.
He meant
I don't know. Maybe it's a me thing. It's a me
It's
thing.
a you thing. He meant it. Tiffany was crying. It was the right moment. He was just like, let me just like affirm you right now and just let you know that I love you. It was so beautiful.
What do I want?
I mean, with
I do love them.
With Brett and Tiffany, we are in the honeymoon stages of a relationship, baby. Okay, the honeymoon stages, and then part of my mind starts thinking about, all right, when we get out of the honeymoon stage, what is this going to look like? Like,
what do you think their problems could be?
Ooh, I don't know, because actually I haven't really seen much of what Tiffany's like issues in herself or with her life or anything like that are. I haven't seen much of what Brett's issues in himself or anything like that are. Not until they reveal that to us may we see like what their issues may be. Now, the conversation that they were having about finances, I was like, Tiffany, I don't know why you're having this conversation. The man makes more money than you. Cut it out. Okay. Like I'm like, one thing is for sure, like, you need to be with a man who's able to assuredly provide, for the household. And I think that Brett has the capacity more times than not to provide. And also talking about a budget. I don't think that sometimes, like, I just feel like sometimes, like, when you're in a certain tax bracket, certain things like, oh, me paying for this and you paying for that, it just really is not that type of conversation that ought to be had. But maybe finances will break them. It seems like Tiffany doesn't spend as much, and she has to get used to that. Maybe that will be it. Maybe certain things about their family life, or like, their upbringings or something of that nature. When the families get into the mix of their relationship, maybe that'll be something that they'll go through difficulties with. But insofar as what we've seen, I think we are blinded by their love.
Are we blind?
I don't
Are we the one that's
see.
blind?
No, we are not the ones that are blind. But the one thing I do see about Brett though is that I don't think he's also overly emotional like you are. You are saying like you're not overly emotional in that way. I don't see him as that too, because he also has like this awkward smile about him that I'm like, there's this like awkwardness in his smile.
Really?
Yeah, there is. He's holding back. Because I can see Brett as somebody he's like, yes, I love you and I care about you, but the wheels are turning in his head. Like there's always something going on behind his smile. It's a very tentativeness. And then whereas Tiffany is just like enamored. She's like, I can't believe I lucked out. Everything about her when she looks at this man is like, yeah,
like, she's just always like,
yeah,
girl.
Whereas Brett is not necessarily falling all over her. She's like all over him, but he loves her. He likes her. I think he's happy with her in his choice, but I think he's also he's also a logical human being, and he's thinking about things. I don't know what things, but he's thinking.
I wonder if he's like thinking and just in his head thinking like logistics and reality, right? Or if he is just not a person that like his affect is not as animated. You know what I mean? Because I remember him saying like there was one conversation he was having with the guys and he was like, I really love this. Like I am really, really in love with this woman. Like, and I was actually shocked by the amount of the depth at which he was trying to explain like how much he is in love with her. So I was like, okay, I just chalk that up to be that he is just not, his affect is just calm. He's just calm in nature, and that's just how what other people may see as like Marshall is very, I am so in love with her, and like that's how he is. You can see that in his like facial structure and the way that his face moves and things like that. Similar to Kwame, like you can see like a great big smile when he's faking it. Whatever, Kwame's that's a terrible example. I'm not even saying Kwame. Sorry, not Kwame. Kwame. I think Brett is just, he strikes me as just a very calm person that will express his feelings calmly in the way that he wants to express. I think that there's not much range between his expression of like anger versus his expression of happy, his expression of sad versus his expression of love, anything, things like that. So that's my assessment of Brett.
Well, we love the mature love between Brett and Tiffany. We do.
And Netflix should do more of that. Bring us more mature people, to be honest with you, because Tiffany is 36.
Yes.
While
Brett is 35.
Micah and them are like 26.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we can see the difference. And remember, Lauren and Cameron from season 1, Lauren was in her they were in their 30s, I believe.
In their 30s as well. I think she was in her 30s. She wasn't in her 20s.
Was it 32 and he was like 31 or something like that?
Something of that nature. Yeah.
Right? So they were more mature. And when I was watching Queen's Court, I can't remember if I said this to you or not. When I was watching Queen's Court, the show on Peacock with Tamar, Evelyn, and Nivea, and I saw all the men, I was like, where are all these men for Love is Blind? Like, these are men that are well-to-do, put together, some of them, right? Some, not all of them. For the most part, well-to-do, put together. They have a head on their shoulders. Their nose isn't in the back of their head. Where are they for Love is Blind,
Right.
But anyways, cool.
Okay,
so Tiff and Brett, we wish you all the best. We hope you make it. We know you will. I am curious to know what happens during their wedding that Brett's like, this is not supposed to happen today.
I know. The editors love to play with us, so I don't know what that means. It may not even be anything, but we love you guys. Okay.
Yes, that's true.
All right. You pick.
All right, let's do Micah and Paul.
I'm going to let you have the floor.
Because it's like you're going on strike talking about Micah. All I want to say is that Micah, her emotional manipulation, she just continues to prove my point. I think last week on our episode, I said that Micah, she has this emotional control. She does not actually have feelings for these men. She just wants them to not like another woman. And we see that tried and true in these next 3 episodes that we have. Micah, we see a meeting between her and Irina. I guess they're no longer friends because Irina, in her distaste for Paul, was pursuing, not Paul, what's his name? In her distaste for dislike for Zach, she pursued Paul, who is engaged to Micah. Oh, Lord. So Micah was not having it, but Irina was being flirtatious physically, emotionally, and what have you. So they met up to talk about that, and Micah was basically like, I am not happy, blah, 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 blah. You try to steal my man, and it didn't work because he don't even want you anyways. Cool. Now, if you notice after that scene, I don't even know if it was after that scene, but after the scene where Paul told her, like, well, Irina was being flirty with me and she was touching my leg and stuff like that. And if you saw that scene, like, Irina actually was like, she knew what she was doing when she took Paul's feet and rubbed it up against her breast and all, like, she knew what she was doing. Cool. Micah, and once she found that out and once she had the conversation with Irina, that's when she was now so interested in Paul. That's when her connection with Paul was building. That's when all of a sudden she is ready to sleep with Paul. She's ready to meet Paul's mom. She is just like so into Paul. And I'm like, I was watching and I was like, is she really into him? Or is this just because Irina has now, you know, there's something, I don't know if it's in her past. There's just something about her that anytime another woman is in the conversation, she becomes crazy.
her alarm bells go off.
Her alarm bells
ding,
go
ding,
off,
ding.
and she starts saying unreasonable things, but they seem reasonable to the man because sometimes they are whatever. So that's what I noticed with Micah, and I realized when she was talking with Kwame, yeah, it is all fake. Because the conversations that you're having with Paul, because all of a sudden when she realized that Irina was actually coming on to Paul, she's like, oh, well, now I have doubts about you. Are you trying to do you like her too? So I'm like, you don't even care that he likes her as well. You just want him to not be into anyone else but you. So you don't care. Because imagine, I want to ask Micah this. If Paul had conversations with another woman, I don't even care who it is. If Paul had conversations with another woman, the way that you had a conversation with Kwame, she would go and bang her head up against a wall. What is your problem?
Yeah, she also does.
What'd you say?
Nothing. I'm not going to repeat it.
Anyways, that's it. I just think that she and her friends, they're group of problematic women.
I actually want to talk about them. I actually do. No,
I think that they're a part of the 55.
Okay, yes, they are definitely part of that allegedly. Now the thing,
no, they are a part of the 55%.
When I look at the relationship that Irina and Micah had in the girls group in the pods, right? I definitely saw Micah as a manipulative one.
Yes.
Making Irina do a couple of things and Irina just being the very ridiculous person who's following along with that. But it also seemed like Irina did, made herself a pariah, right? In that particular room based on what Bliss was saying and describing about her. Now, when we come to Micah's friends and the friend that didn't like Paul, right? The friend that has ruined many of Micah's relationships, right? I was like, wow, depending on the environment, Micah in an environment where she is with Irina or with other women, she is the aggressor, right? In many ways, she is the manipulative one. And then you put her in an environment with her friends and you see who the real
aggressor is.
The aggressor is, or like the person who's like really on the throne, like
her
in
friend
the
was
relationship.
also drunk.
Yes, the friend was also drunk, but I always believe like a drunk man never lies. Like you're just bringing out your subconscious. And so, and just seeing the dynamic in the relationship and that shifting. And then also understanding that Micah's very like mean girl behavior, you see where it comes from. The people that she surrounds herself with. This is exactly the formative elements of what makes her Micah and what makes her so detestable amongst the viewers, right? So I thought that was very interesting. But then also, it was also interesting, leaning to your point of whoever's opinion matters in that moment, Micah all of a sudden has her ding, ding, ding bells going off, right? Because when her friend, it looks like she put a lot of impetus on what her friend had to say about Paul. If she really loved
Paul,
if she really loved Paul, it didn't matter what that girl had to say. It should have just been, I don't care, I love him. Like, I don't care about what you say, but you could see she really cares about this particular friend's thoughts. And what I have to say to anybody is like, live your life. Don't live the life that other people want for you.
I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you, we don't know whether that friend is single or not, but she strikes me as the friend that I'm miserable, you should be miserable with me. Again, I don't know her relationship status, right? But it just was very alarming to see how she was coming so hard at Paul, who is honestly very go with the flow.
Yeah. She's like, I need to see more. I'm like, what? There's
what do you want
there's
to?
no
There's
more
not. This
to
is it.
see.
This is actually all you're getting.
Like literally.
He only dressed up because Micah put this shirt on him and these pants on him.
Exactly.
Because we saw what he looked like
when he was in the.
You know what I mean? So this is all you're getting. There is no more. So you trying to pry and prod into nothing is, quite frankly, irritating me watching. And for Micah to enable the behavior and accept the behavior in a way where she's now coming at Paul and saying, well, you need to care what she thinks.
No, actually don't. I do not.
You don't have to care about anything.
And he was absolutely right when he said that to her. Like, I don't need to care. I care about you. That's what I care about.
Period.
And that's right. That's right. And the one thing I do want to see from them, though, is more deep conversations, because Paul said something where he was describing to Zach like why he really likes Micah. And remember, he said the first thing that he said is like, firstly, it's her perspective. And I'm like, I wish we could see more of those conversations, because for me, Micah is not the quintessential woman for somebody to be like fawning over. Because I just don't see, I just don't see the elements that he is describing about her.
No, I don't think that it's there. I think that, I mean, when you meet somebody, honestly, the first like 10 months to a year, you're putting on your best self. So now let's take this pod situation. Micah is a manipulative person, point blank, period. There's no two ways about it. So I do believe that Micah was putting on her best self to impress somebody. Micah went in there with a mission, allegedly. She went in there with a mission. I have to say it. She went in there with a mission to get a man. Whichever man it was, she wanted a man. When she realized that Kwame was talking to somebody else and he also liked the other person, great, she shifted to Paul. So Paul, I'm going to be with you. Let's be together and go break up with Amber. So I'm going to sit here and I'm gonna wait for Amber to come in here crying. And that's that. I don't think there was any deep conversation that was impressive enough. I think that she put on her best self, got Paul, and boom, she has a person.
All right, we'll see what happens with them at the end of this
They're not
whole
gonna
entire
make it.
thing.
Yeah, let's move on. All right, Jackie and Marsh. Let's do it.
My stomach is just
you go ahead, take it away.
Just a nuts. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Can I actually start? I'm so sorry. I have to start because I have to apologize to our listeners.
Oh yes.
I owe y'all an apology.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Listen, let me tell you, I have no problems apologizing, but I hate being wrong and I hate
being wrong.
To apologize. I really do. I'm telling you, you got to come cut for if I have to apologize for something. But I have to say sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. Josh is an idiot. Marsh is not. I'm sorry. So yeah.
Thank you, Diana, for that. Because if you guys listen to our past episode, she did talk about like how she thought Josh was amazing.
I was justice for Josh all the way.
And and Elle and I were like, girl, no. Like, this man, not the one.
I was blinded by
yes, she was
the fineness. But that fineness quickly went away when I saw how much of a whatever he was.
Okay, so Jackie and Marshall, when they met in the pods, so Jackie was between Marshall and Josh. Those are her two men. Marshall is the man who is more sensitive in terms of like how he expresses himself. Josh is a little bit more I don't know if aggressive is the word to describe how he presents himself, but he's not as emotional. I have to say that he's not as emotional. And then here comes Jackie. She's conflicted between two men. Josh tells her in the pods that it's only you. If it's you, it's no one for me. I'm packing my bags and all that stuff. And then Jackie is crying about it to the girls because she's picking between her, Marshall, and Josh, and she doesn't really know where her feelings are going. She tells Marshall about it. Marshall gets real upset, and then he gets back into the men's quarters, and then all of a sudden it becomes a thing between him and Josh, like, well, you want me to help you pack? I'll help you pack. Like, you saying something like that to, my girl, because you ain't leaving with her, right?
All right.
Oh, God have mercy.
See, I didn't like that scene, so I'm like, all right, it's not that serious, bro.
I know, and Josh was like,
yesterday.
Yeah, Josh was like, oh, you want to do this? We're going to do this.
And that's what I liked about Josh. Josh was like, so what's up?
I'm gonna get her. Like,
that's what I liked about Josh.
And that's exactly what Jackie likes. too. Let's talk about that.
No.
She likes that.
Hold up. What I liked about that situation was I felt like Marshall, there was no need for the high amounts of anger that he was giving. It was a lot. And I'm like, it's not that serious. And then on top of that, he didn't even go to have the conversation. He was angry enough that he felt like he could not have a conversation. He couldn't even look at Josh if not he was going to do something. And I'm like, what's all this? Like, it's not that serious. Like, so for Josh, what I liked was he wasn't rah when he went to go talk to Marshall. He was just like, hey, do you want to have a conversation? Let's talk. I see that you're upset. It's okay to be upset, but I still want the girl. And I'm like, that's how you address the situation. Yes, you do the thing. Not knowing that he's an idiot. Not knowing that he's a fool.
And I think like that's where we can give Marshall a little bit of like, room for his, expression of his like anger is because he knows who Josh is. Like this boy. Sorry, I call him a boy. I apologize. But this young man and how he displayed himself. And even when you see at Chelsea's party how everybody just had the same disgust towards him, it says a lot. It says a lot.
The editing, they could have done better with the editing.
They could have done better.
I did not see it because all we saw was just a clip of them pan to Bliss. And Bliss is like, I have no respect for Josh. I'm like, he hasn't done anything.
I know.
And then we saw the nonsense. And I'm like, oh, okay. I wish they had like done a little bit better for us to see the nonsense first and see what was happening.
So that we could make that up in our mind and understand why they're saying that. And even Kwame himself also said, like, I tried so hard for this man to get off this island. And here he is again. I was like, who's he talking about? I didn't know whether it was Josh or was somebody else, but they could have done better with the editing on that. I agree.
Exactly.
Now, Jackie and Marshall are a problematic relationship. They are not going to make it, I don't think, at all. Marshall is ready to be in a relationship with this young woman. She is a saboteur, right? She is a person who's going to sabotage this relationship at any chance that she absolutely gets. I don't think she knows how to be in touch with her emotions. She doesn't know how to take in what Marshall is able to give to her in this relationship. And also she's making up a ton of excuses as to why she doesn't like this man. She does not like Marshall. He does not represent the type of alpha male energy that she wants and that she's used to. The alpha male types, it's kind of like akin to like people who are thinking that like I'm the guy in the room, I control you and things like that. She wants him to be controlling in the bedroom, all of those things. She's just not attracted to him and she doesn't know how to say it. Right? Because if Jackie was attracted to a man, I think we kind of have an idea of how she would be behaving if she was attracted to a man. And with Marshall's giving her a lot of room for her to like express her feelings. But most times when I watch this couple, I have this look on my face where I'm just kind of like, because Jackie's having emotional meltdowns for what? Like emotional breakdowns for what? And I know people are saying that like her dad has cancer, her brother is in jail or something. Is that what it was?
Just got out of jail, I think.
And those are like really huge things that are going on in a person's life.
And her mom doesn't approve of this.
And of this. But like, why go on a show unless you've talked about this with your closest people?
Speak on
and
it.
Said like, I'm going on this show and here's the reasons why. And I'm going to be coming back either with a man or without one. Right? Why go on a show knowing that there's a huge possibility that you're going to be engaged and married to somebody?
And your mom doesn't know?
And your mom has no idea.
And if this woman if her parents are together and she is potentially a caretaker to the dad, it's like, why wouldn't you tell her if she's already going through a lot?
Exactly, right? Because then you're compounding another huge emotional burden on your family with this particular thing. And it's a journey that I think that you would want, and looking at how family oriented she's presenting herself to be.
Right.
This is something that you would want your family to kind of go through with you. Right. Or
you need the support too.
You need it. You need the support. And she looks like she needs the support.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Yeah. She's all the mental gymnastics that is happening in her head need not be. She is a problem. She likes toxicity. She likes men who are going to do whatever X, Y, and Z to her. She thinks that's love. She thinks that's, you know, the type of relationship she wants to have. Even when she described like her past relationships, like they are like basketball players or ballers or whatever and all that stuff. We already know the type of, you know, trope that comes with and that person she attracts. And I'm like, you have been hurt. Has she been hurt in a relationship or something of that nature that she thinks that this is the example of love that she should be going for? And Marshall is presenting quite the opposite.
I also wonder what she has seen, right? And what she has been exposed to, what has her environment looked like, that this is what she's equating masculine aggression with love, right? And I see Jackie as a child. I see her as a little girl. I just see a little girl screaming.
Yeah.
I really do want to offer her some empathy, because I think that what we're seeing is a lack of expression. She just does not know how to express what's actually happening. She does not know how to, when she is high emotion, how to regulate enough to get to the root cause and express what it is that's actually bothering her. You know what I mean? And I remember I was sharing this with you, and I was saying how the conversation where, not Micah, what's her name? Jackie and Marshall, we see Marshall had just shown up back to their apartment. I guess he had left because they had a fight where Jackie said to him, "You are not a man because you're not aggressively pursuing me sexually."
That statement hurt me to the core. I don't know why. I just was like, wow.
I think I could definitely feel Marshall's hurt. I also felt Marshall's hurt when, oh Lord, this one hurt me. His sister is about to come. And you could tell Marshall's family means a lot to him.
Yeah.
And Jackie is doing this pity party. Or I don't even know if it's pity party, or what she expressed was she is stressed and she is high anxiety. For whatever reason, she's high anxiety. She could not get out of that and break out of that in the moment. So that way you could be present for this man's family that's coming.
Yeah. That was hard.
It was really difficult to see.
That was hard.
It was difficult to see. And it's also very confusing, because what exactly do you want him to do? You said that you want aggressive. So now he's actually clapping his hands in your face. Not in your face, excuse me.
Who are you clapping at?
He's clapping at you. He's giving you the aggressive. He's putting baritone in his voice.
Oh, God.
And now I think the only reason why she's not calling him man is because he is slender in stature.
That's true, right?
She wouldn't, because if he acted the same way, but he was buffer, more muscular in stature, I think that she would not have the mouth and the gall to open and say you're not aggressive.
Because if he was Brett, she'd be like, "Yep, I'm all about that life." Because she was
what I'm saying?
Kind of fine.
Yeah.
Like, yep, that's her type.
No, girl, bye. I'm sorry, I'm not with that type of injustice. It's injustice that's happening here. But anyways, I do think of her as a little girl, because when they were having that fight and that argument, you're telling him you want him to be aggressive. He is being more aggressive, and you're sitting here saying, "Who you clapping at?" And he's also now compounding and compiling his own frustrations and saying, "Hey, what you're expecting of me, you're telling me that you want me to satisfy you, but you actually don't do the same. You don't try to pursue me. You don't even know what makes me happy and aroused and blah blah blah, right? You don't do those things for me as well." And she's like, "So then why are you with me?" That response, it's like, are you 2 years old? What conversation are you having?
They were having different ones.
Different conversations. This is what the conversations are going
no,
like
for
this.
real.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, you forget. You guys have, at that point, you've lost the point.
Absolutely.
You've missed the point. We're no longer having the same conversation that we were 10 seconds ago. So let's just stop. Let's pause. He's right. She is a person that is attracted to toxic love. She needs healing. She needs therapy. My answer to her is therapy. She needs to unpack a lot of the reasons why she thinks the way she does. She has some of the mindsets that she does. I think she is able to be, I hate to say this, fixed. I hate to say that, but she has the potential to be healed. She really does.
To be changed, because she needs change.
She does.
Absolutely.
Whereas like Micah and Irina, they are so far gone. I don't even
I know, right? You don't even know like what planet
I don't even know where they are. They're on just different planets. Whereas Jackie,
She has an opportunity for redemption.
She really does. If I were her friend, I would offer her I would extend to her a hand of love.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I think you just need to know. You don't know what love is. You don't know what it feels like to just even be loved by just a friend. I don't think you really know what that is. I feel like you have superficial friendships.
That's true. But then also, like, even looking at the dynamic of what she's describing in her family as her being the sole, maybe not the sole earner, but she's very responsible for her family's like welfare in many situations.
If her dad has cancer, then it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It makes sense that the dynamic has been shifted. If her brother was in jail, I don't know how many siblings I don't know what her family situation, right? But just hearing those two things, a lot of those things make sense. You know what I mean? And you can't blame your mom if she is, again, a caretaker and now has to also introduce a new son-in-law.
Right, exactly. You can't.
That's a lot.
But it's also, you know, I want her to also take responsibility for putting herself in this predicament.
Exactly.
It's not a predicament that she needed to be in.
Exactly.
But she put herself there, and now the burdens are weighing down on her so immensely. But what I do wish is I wish she would just tell Marsha that she doesn't like him. Like, just be upfront. Like, you know, I'm not attracted to you, but if she wants to be in the relationship, she can say, but I want to be in this relationship with you because you're not my type. But I see the things that you offer me that are good for me. And I am willing to be here and to stick it out with you and learn about you or whatever, if you are willing to have me.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, that was me.
Okay, it's okay. All right. So, yeah. Concerning like the fact that Jackie, she didn't have to put herself in this situation, right? If she knew that she's going through such high stress in her family life. And I honestly think a lot of like the emotional burdens that she's presenting to us, some of it is real, but I also think some of it is a little manufactured. And it's actually like manufactured to the fact of like, you're just kind of like, you know, like when you just start making things up in your head about someone or about how you feel or about the situation, it sends you into a spiral. And she's in a spiral, and I don't get it.
Just perseverating on like outside factors.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like it's. Marshall said she gets stuck in whatever that emotion. Like she cannot. It's almost like she's trapped and can't get her way out.
Yeah,
you know.
And which is interesting. Did she seem like that to you in the pods?
Again, back to my point. You put on your best self in those beginning stages. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those pods are obviously they cannot keep those humans in there because my suggestion would be extend the time, but they can't do that because that's like solitary confinement. And we already know what that does on the human psyche. So don't do that. Right. But no, to answer your question, no, she did not come off like that to me in the pods because I believe that she was putting on her best self.
Right. Exactly.
She presented as someone that was ready. Right.
Yeah. She did.
But as we can see now that real life has hit, she is not.
Right.
So I guess I do appreciate the process and the experiment going through different stages. You know what I mean? Because as soon as you see that this is actually real life, we're not in a pod. Life is not a pod situation. No, the only pod situation was the pandemic. You know what I mean?
Ain't that the word?
Huh?
I said, ain't that the word? Yep. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It
so,
really was.
I mean, outside of that, let's see how it goes. We still have a few more episodes to see. I think in the next batch of episodes, I believe we're going to get some weddings. So we're going to get some yeses and some nos, and we will see what actually happens.
And who do you think is a person that is going to actually, a couple that you think is going to actually make it?
Oh, well, obviously, without a doubt, Brett and Tiffany.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I feel like they're the only ones that I feel like I want to make it and that are going to make it. Everybody else is going to fail. Sorry.
To be honest, low key,
everybody else is going to fail.
I really wish I want to see Amber with somebody though. I liked
Amber. Yeah.
I really liked Amber.
I want to get to know more about Amber. She's been married twice. She's
27.
Yeah.
I really want to know about that. But I think she explained that I think one relationship that he was physically abusive.
Oh, Jesus.
I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up.
Oh, we have to go back.
Maybe I had a dream or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, but I would like to know more about Amber. And I think that's the downside to this experiment, is that we don't get to know much about those that don't make it past the third episode, you know, or to that couple situation. So I like Amber. I would love to know her more.
Definitely.
So, yeah. But please don't put her on Perfect Match, because I'm not watching that show.
Yeah, because we don't need to see her on that. I think she's also like that type of girl that I feel like she may deserve like her own type of show.
I did see a TikTok about her, though. There was a girl that was telling her story on TikTok, and she's like, hey, so I hear that Amber is on Love is Blind. I want to tell you a story about her. She starts telling the story about how the night before her wedding, she had a mountain of things to do, like stress upon stress upon stress. She had to get the flower arrangements done, centerpieces done, table arrangements done, like so many things to do. Like, this is the night before her wedding. Amber and her group of friends just so happened to be in the vicinity somehow. So they came into her hotel room and they all helped her get everything that she needed done. And Amber was like giving her words of advice on marriage. I believe, I don't know if this was before or after Love is Blind, but the way that the woman was telling the story, it was before we had seen Love is Blind. So we didn't know Amber then. So it was like, it was really nice to see that Amber is just a good person outside of the camera. She's just naturally like a good person. Again, which speaks to then Paul's judgment. But, you know, I want to say it does speak to Paul's judgment, because Micah was very strong in her, you need to break up with her and be with me only.
Hook, line, and sinker. She was.
So it's not Paul's judgment.
Well, it also shows like Paul's ability to like understand manipulation and
or discern
it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah.
These men really chose the opposite of what was really truly good for them. A couple of them. So anyway, but we would love to hear your comments, and really honestly, we want to engage. And a lot of you guys have already been sending us a lot of things, you know, to our personal like messages and things like that. So definitely share your comments. Like, we're family at this point. So please check back in with us for our next episode, which will be airing soon. Check back in with us on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Spotify, and on Apple.
Yes. We are now on Apple and Google Podcasts.
So
absolutely. Check us out. We are branching out. I'm so excited. No, I'm actually really excited to be on those streaming platforms. So please do check us out. Let us know if you want to be on too. Actually, we would love to talk probably our next few episodes, like with some people, some Love is Blind people that are watching. So we can all like dissect what's going on.
Oh, we would love that. It would be so cool.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys. Thank
you, everybody.
Wonderful one. Bye.
Thank you. And see you next time, or listen to us next time. I don't know.
Bye.